I guess I better get rid of the script I was planning on and go with something else. So. I guess I can get rowdy. I've got all my props together here. This wooden thing, maybe I'll just put it down for a sec. But I'm delighted to be here. Aren't you glad to be here yourself? Yeah, right. Well, here's maybe some new thoughts for you today, because I've got a little bit of setting up to do today. So would you just consider that I'm starting my talk right now? And you know that a picture is worth at least 1,000 words. So I've got a couple of things that are going to happen, and it is part of my talk. So let's just see if you can hear and understand. I'm going to ask you to use your imagination because I am somewhat limited by the form up here. But I want you to just try and get into the essence of what's happening. What we're talking about is the thing. Remember the thing? Yeah, well the thing, Ernest Holmes has taken quite a bit of flack, well maybe not recently because he's made his transition, but some people said, Ernest, couldn't you come up with a better idea about this all-powerful universal thing instead of the thing? So we've heard about the thing all month of January. And today it's my privilege to kind of close it out. And our topic is how to use it. Now I put together quite a collection. There's going to be bits and pieces of things. And you probably, some of you I know are like myself and like to take notes. Don't worry about the notes unless you're absolutely you're absolutely keen about it. But on the back table back there's a sign-up sheet, and if you want any of the materials, because I will be mentioning things like the tools that we may use to use it, and things of that sort. If you want those things, just put your name on the sheet, and either an email or a hard copy, and I'll get it to you. So don't be too worried about things. Now, okay, so the talk's starting, and I know it's 20 minutes, gosh. Anyway, I'm going to try and stick to that. You know that I'm very limited on talking, right?
You wish.
I don't get paid by the minute here. Okay, so this is now. I need some, maybe two people. You don't have to have any previous experience. But I'd like a couple folks to come up willingly. And I've got 4. No, I was thinking in spirit thought maybe 4 because there's 4 corners here. No, you can stay there. No, you can stay there. Can you So I won't give them further instructions. Now this is not, I don't want anybody telling about the light bulb joke or anything like that. Okay, thank you. That's it. I'm sorry, I could come up with something else here. I better sit down because that's the highlight of my talk. Hey, this is serious business here. Okay, so, and you know, your laughter is interrupted because this is part of the talk, right? No, I'm just joking. I probably won't have anybody come now, but I'd like a couple people, I need 2 people, and they're volunteering to come. Oh, no. To come up and position some chairs. Each of you, would you get one of those chairs each and then bring them up and we'll set them here. Just be careful. Bring that over here and put it right here. And then just turn that one so it's facing in. Maybe right there. Okay. How many of you have read this before? Okay, so we've had a couple of things happen. And the intention, despite a little bit of humor, the intention is quite deep. And this one is where the imagination has to happen. The table is set. That's what all that was about. Now, I would like a couple people to come up, volunteer, and this is going to unfold it more. 2 people, no experience necessary. Thank you, Danielle. Oh, wonderful. So you can sit on your chair. Now, I was going to wait at least 45 seconds, but I'm getting a little bit twitchy, and they're saying, what the heck am I doing up here? They're saying, what the heck are they doing up here? Okay, here's where imagination comes in a little bit, and that is, the table is set. We have a veil over the table, so that the fruits of life are enclosed in a veil. So I'd just like you to imagine the human circumstance and our vision, our sight. And these 2, thank you, gals, lovely. They came up here and they looked at me. They didn't understand. They didn't realize what the setting was all about. And so, how many of you have ever been asleep in your life? Well, I was asleep for 49 years. I was sitting and moving and walking and doing that sort of stuff. I thought I was living. But then things happened. How many of you have had things happen? Yeah. And guess what? I realized that I had been sleeping. These folks were looking at me because I'm supposed to have the answer. Where is the answer? Yeah. Early on, when we were sleeping and as we start to grow, we start to look inward, but as we're sleeping, we're looking out, right? So they were looking at me for the answer, like what's going on. They didn't realize that the table was set. They didn't realize that they have the power. This is something, so we're talking about growth and health. And haven't they done a beautiful job? Thank you. So, we do have the table set, and at a certain level, there is no veil. It's there. We're told that it's as close as you're breathing. We're told that. Now, our eyes, if we believe our human vision, our eyes tell us a different story. When we're in that world of material realm or form, we are blind to what is kind of behind. Our consciousness gets in the way. We believe in the primacy of matter, not in the primacy of consciousness. Here's something that Ernest Holmes writes. And we were talking about fresh eyes and fresh vision. Seeing through the veil. A new light is coming into the world. We are on the borderland of a new experience. The veil between spirit and matter is very thin. The invisible passes into visibility through our faith in it. I'm tempted to go and peek underneath. Occasionally, how many of you had a little peek here and there? We get these little glimpses, we get little nudges, and that's great. That's all part of awakening. So this is a journey of awakening that we're talking about here. Now we start to get into a little bit of detail, and I'm going to throw things. This is not throwaway stuff, but it's a little detailed, and but I need to. My job is how to use it. Now we realize that no matter what we do, we get to use it as we realize that we aren't doing the work. Do we understand that? Right? We use terminology like I'm going to go down there, I'm going to do the painting, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do. And we realize that's the form, that's kind of the human condition that's speaking, as though I'm doing the work. But as we grow into the knowing and the being, we realize that all we are is kind of that essential mind consciousness that sets the intention, and then spirit, Father, Mother, yes, does the work. So I'm going to slide in and out of the human language, forgive me. Now, tools for change. There are many tools. I'm just going to talk about them very, very briefly. And this is kind of the boring part, perhaps. But I want to mention them because out there on the sign, we declare that we teach tools for transformation. So it is through these types of activities that we wake up. And so we can put ourselves into these experiences. Here's one, education. Courses, taking classes, reading books, talking to people, affirmations, declaring, I am joy. Making those, as you grow, you tend to live life more from a place of affirmation. Self-observation. When we're fairly new at this, when we're fairly old at our old ways of doing stuff, we're absorbed in the form. And as we grow, as we deepen, we shift from absorption to observation. How sweet is that? Not too bad. But that's this is just another tool for change. Goal setting. Anybody ever set some goals about, I'm going to make sure that I read something for at least 15 minutes a day, something like that. Or I'm going to meditate or something of that sort. Tithing. We realize that money is energy, and it's a different form of energy. Boy, does it have a lot of energy at times, right? Especially when you don't have it. Where is it? Service, meditation, spiritual mind treatment, using practitioners, and daily spiritual practice. These are all things that we can do with intention, do consciously to grow and to deepen and to turn within. Are we okay with those? Good. These are tools for change. I did warn you I was just going to sort of throw stuff out here, but these are all important aspects. Now, there's another important aspect, and when I was, it was a little after I was 49, I was going to a doctor down in Vancouver who was doing allergy testing and stuff, and he said, Ken, this is back quite a few years, he said, you might want to take a look at a book. This book, maybe some of you have it, maybe some of you have seen it, I think it's out of print, sorry. It's called Feeling Good, A New Mood Therapy. And the story with this is, I'm going to read you a quick little slice here. Oh, come on now, where is it? Oh, okay, I'll read it from here. This is what a fellow said, this is David Burns, and he was working at the University of Pennsylvania in the psychiatric department. And he said, in studying depression, this is what he said. This is about studying people who say things like seeing themselves as a loser, getting into the negative stuff. Here's what he decided. My conclusion was that depression must involve a disturbance in thinking. Ooh. Does that ring a bell? The depressed person thinks in idiosyncratic, I'll let that one go, and negative ways about himself, his environment, and his future. Now, there's a guy called Ernest Holmes. Change your thinking, change your life. Here's a guy in a completely independent circumstance who decides, through clinical studies, everything, the best scientific studies you can do, decides that thinking is the place where this disharmony happens. Now, there's that book, and this is another book there, and I don't know if, how many have you heard of this or seen it or anything? This is about 1980 stuff, like this is old stuff. Now for me, and I won't go on about me, when I was 49 and then I started going there, I wasn't really aware that I was actually thinking. Yeah, what? I laugh too, but I was not. How many of you can relate to that? Like I wasn't aware that, oh, gee, that was an interesting thought. I was just doing, I was just living. I was just asleep. And I was doing okay. Had a pretty good job, wife, kids, car. I was going, doing it, thinking. Oh, I don't think I think. Anyway, number one is we're thinking. Then the big thing was I can look at what that thought was, and like it or not, and good heavens, I was taught in the way, if I didn't like that thinking, I could say, no, I don't like thinking like that. I want to change it. Is that big? I'd say so. So we can choose our thinking. Sometimes, has anybody ever had thoughts that are rolling and rolling and rolling and not too good? But you can if you persevere. So I wanted to point that out. It's called Feeling Good, the New Mood Therapy, and it says what Science of Mind is talking about. Change your thinking, change your life. Now, a little collection of wisdom from mystics and stuff. This is on how to use the power that is there, that's covered in that veil. How to start pulling that veil off a little bit, because we can cause that. We have the power. I have the power. You have the power. You are the power. We are the power. All you have to do is take it. And guess what? Nobody can give it to you. You have... And now who said that? Where do you read that? Well, Science of Mind says that. And along the way, somebody says, hey, you don't have to go, well, let's say this is a restaurant, and you sit down there to order, and you have to wait for the waiter to come up there. You don't have to wait for a third person to come up there. If that's where it is, that's where it's happening, you just say, I want that. And if you're in the right belief or whatever, it is yours. And it's being manufactured somewhere, I don't know, and it will show up. Like the red little Jeeps. The red little Jeeps, we said, or Reverend Joanne talked about that. So she said that, so out there, wherever it might be, a garage on St. Paul or whatever, all these red Jeeps were being manipulated, and there it was. Okay, I hope you don't believe me on that. I better be careful about not making a joke. So, this is what Ernest Holmes said. And this is about how to use it. Today, I am resolved to see only the good and whatever evil, I don't like that word, in the form of lack, fear, pain, or uncertainty presents itself. I shall endeavor instantly to recognize its native nothingness, to know that it is entirely relative. I shall make every effort to see through this limitation to that which is boundless and free. I shall proclaim the glad tidings of the freedom of the kingdom of God. I know that's loaded for some of you, in my experience and in the experience of everyone I contact. So what happens is, that veil is just that. It's also called the mist, right? Have you heard the mist and stuff? Clouds, whatever it is. But there's the perception, and I believe it's an illusion. It is not really there at the level of your growing divinity and knowledge. So, no, I'm not going to see the veil. I'm going to see through it, because I know the veil is an illusion. I know that. The science of mind told me. Here's another one. Fresh eyes. I like this one. Oh, I better hurry up. Choosing to see from seeing into darkness. And this comes from Mark Nepo's Book of Awakening. Fear gets its power from our not looking. Does that ring a bell? Yeah. Here, this is kind of a cute one. Remember that attic or closet door behind which something terrifying waited? He's talking about as a child. And the longer, of course, this wouldn't happen as adults, right? There's never anything that we don't want to look at. Right? Yeah. And the longer we didn't look, the harder it was to open that door. As a boy, this obsessed me until I would avoid that part of the house. Does that ring a bell? I didn't want to phone Grandma because I know that... Anyway, that's another story. But finally, when no one was home, I felt compelled to face the unknown. I stood before that attic door for the longest time, my heart pounding. It took all of my small inner boy strength to open it. Now, because I'm a little bit short of time, I'm just going to cut to the chase. So he mustered up all his courage, and he opened the door, and he went in there and looked around. It was all musty, and he found some pictures and some stuff about Grandpa. And he was delighted, because I guess this guy was maybe a bit of a black sheep. And he was told, gee, you're just like your grandpa. And he looked at the stuff and he pulled out the books. Ooh, I'm getting bumps. The connection was made. For this little boy, they were just like that. And had he not overcome the fear, and you know the rest of the story. So he mustered his courage, and something unfolded beautifully for him. Here's another one. This comes from Hildegard of Bingen. Anybody heard of her? Yeah, she's a mystic from Europe in the Middle Ages. This is what she says. God has gifted creation with everything that is necessary. Nothing that is necessary is lacking. Ooh. I wonder if those people sitting there with that veil, what would they say? They would say, gee, there's all I see is lack, limitation, and separation from my good. How many of you are getting deep enough that you know the wisdom of this statement? I hope so. She is teaching us to trust when she says that everything that is necessary is already within creation. When things look bleak for us, when bills go unpaid or a relationship sours, we can easily fall into despair and self-pity. Does that ring a bell? Right. When things look bleak. Okay, so here's what she says. Hildegard urges us to look deeper inside. Our tendency, perhaps, earlier on, is when things are looking rough, we look for another person or another thing outside of us. We look for the solution outside of us. And guess what we grow into? We know it's within us. So that veil, it kind of hangs in there. And sometimes you really have to be steadfast, they say, in knowing that the answer isn't out there. It's in here. And your source, yes, it is my source, but it is your individualized source. So I can't give you my source. We don't get into sharesies, right? It's yours for your taking. Now, a practitioner, if you get into that relationship, that's where the practitioner can help out. But ultimately, that is your power. Okay, I'm moving along, nice and short one here. How to use the power, how to use it. Here's what Nora Roberts said. She says, if you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't step forward, you're always in the same place. Here's something. Anybody ever forget anything? This is what Juan Ramon Jimenez said. When he's home, he said that. What can I do to always remember who I really am? Most of our searching is looking for ways to discover who we already are. Because we know that despite whatever we look like or feel like, already the center of us is perfect, whole, and complete. We simply believe that and know that. In this, we are a forgetful species. And perhaps along our way, we have lost our ability to remember what is sacred. We run into mountains and rivers, run into the farthest sea, and into the arms of strangers, all to be shaken into remembering. Because remembering, sometimes you can have such a deep experience, and then life kind of, in the human realm, kind of takes over for a while. Didn't I have such a wonderful experience? Now I hope I can't lose it. Oh, and we fall into that fear again. And that's just an indication that we've become separated from our goodness that we experienced last night. Many of us practice how not to forget. But part of our journey is this forgetting and remembering. It is a special part of what makes us human. Welcome to the human species. So what can we do? Here's the secret. Oh, it says here, it is no secret that slowness, I don't know much about slowness, I'm sorry. Softness and surrender, remember. Science of Mind dedication. I'm just about closed. Reverend Joanne did a beautiful job with the reading. I love that. Remember that? The table is laid and the fruits of life are spread before thee. Put away all the language that doesn't quite work for you. The circumstance is exactly the same. Here's the dedication on the same page. These lessons, the education, science of mind, classes, etc. Speakers saying the words. These lessons are dedicated to that truth which frees man, woman, from his or herself and sets him or her on the pathway of a new experience, which enables him, her, to see through the mist, to see through the veil, to the eternal, changeless reality. Now, here's imagination time. I need a couple people, maybe the four again, who will come up and remove the veil, please. And then I'm going to ask you a deep favor. So thanks to your listening to Science of Mind and reading and all this, the veil is removed. And it's no small idea here. Goodness sakes, we've got this honoring all paths, and I guess all paths, is it true? All paths have the same problem with the veil, do you think? So this is the journey of human species. Now, please close your eyes. Okay, did anybody peek? Okay, got me. I need Daniela, would you come up? Who else was up with you? Could you mind coming up? And now they're coming up to the table. The veil has been removed, and lo and behold, out of essential manifestation, could you just pick up something on the top pile there and what is that? Could you just... The menu of life. Whoa, where the heck did that come from? And there's another one there. Everybody gets one, right? Nobody's left out. You do your work, you can use it. And could you just open it? And I'll just read it. Love, light, peace, harmony, joy, abundance, beauty, clarity, wisdom, compassion. The light goes on. Now there's a whole pile there. Surrender, embodiment, realization, gratitude, right use, belief, clarity, truth, undivided, house, as above, so below. Okay, that is, in a nutshell, microcosm, macrocosm. Guess what? It's not, there's no limitation to the list. If it's good, it's there. Thank you, ladies. Can we give them a big hand? And I'm done. Actually, I'm not done, but I'm just moving, I'm transitioning to Reverend Joyanne. But thank you for all of your attention and your help and all that good stuff. Thank you.
That was fun. Thank you. Thank you. Give me some ideas. Now it's time for another song, and this time we are going to, you don't have to stand for this one, this is just for us to enjoy. It's about gratitude, and so let's sing that together. If you please play that for us. You may want to kind of place your hands on your heart and just listen to these words.
Gratitude, gratitude to the left of me. Gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me.
home, your family, for the sunshine, for life, for God itself, and all of the spiritual paths that we are all on, honoring them. What are you really deeply grateful for? For life itself, for a roof over your head, food, beautiful food to eat, children, laughter, peace, joy, prosperity and abundance. And just thinking of that, just bringing that into your awareness. What am I truly grateful for? Just allowing that to live in your heart. Gratitude, the great multiplier. The great multiplier. All right. It's time now for our wonderful opportunity of giving back. And some of you may not know this. Some of you, this may be new to you. And that is that all of our centers, we have about 500 centers around the world, and each of our centers